Hello. So I haven't made a video in a few weeks. I got back from Ireland about a week ago. It was absolutely fantastic holiday. Here I aim to give some tips for people who are starting to learn Icelandic or are thinking about it. Things that may seem like really difficult hurdles. The emphasis is that these should be tackled gradually, and I'll tell you how I've overcome them and how I am still overcoming them. Let's start with the first one. The major one for Icelandic is declensions, genders, and plurals of nouns, adjectives, and pronouns, and the lot. It's important. It's very important, really, to get used to the definite article table and noun declensions table. I'm aware that this probably isn't how young Icelanders actually learn their language, but this is one of the main things that's helped me. Have a look at my previous video about the definite article table if you want to see just how useful it is and how important it is to remember it. Now, until recently, my noun and adjective vocabulary has been probably actively about 100 words. I'm lately making a concerted effort to start learning more vocabulary, but with this small number, I've really managed to get the main ideas of the cases down, and I've basically been able to use. If I encounter any words now, any nouns, any adjectives, then I can use them. I can use them quite easily. The first resource I would go to. It wasn't one of the first I went to, but the first I would go to is livemocha.com, which is a website. Basically, it's a load of exercises and things that don't really teach you about the case system per se, but it does teach you. But it does just get you used to the idea that words change. I would also advise going on Háskóli Íslands which is the University of Iceland, has a beginner course for learning Icelandic. It's good stuff at the beginning, especially if you're not used to, especially if you don't know the language at all. Then I would suggest this book, which is Hippocrene, Beginners of Icelandic. This book is basically teaches you very slowly, but very methodically. It teaches you the case system and gives you lots and lots of model exercises that you can use with any word you want to use, basically. Just things like pluralizing in the accusative, that sort of thing. It's unfortunately this book's a bit short because it only really gets to the genitive by like the last couple of chapters, but that's excellent. Then I would say once you're used to that, then go past page 73 in this book, Colloquial Icelandic. The reason for this is I'll show you page 73. This is after a page of explanation. This is the full noun and it's like the full noun declensions and the full definite article table rolled into one with all the possible exceptions. Well, with all the likely exceptions, really. That's daunting. It's overbearing. You can't really encounter that and go. You can't really encounter that and say I understand it. In fact, it did almost put me off the language, just because I saw that before I saw Hippocrene, before I saw anything else. So it was really off-putting. But once your head is around cases and to get your head more around the cases, practice with things that you see walking down the street, as I'm sure you would do with any language you're learning. If you see a tree, say yes, yeah, tree, understanding that tree, meaning tree, has to be in the accusative case. Tree eru græn, meaning that trees are green, understanding that the græn is græn, which means green, in the plural neuter nominative. Yes, yeah, bíll, where bíll is actually the word for car, but bíll is the word for car in accusative case. Bílar eru svartir. Cars are black. Ég er í bílnum mínum, where bílnum and mínum are both in the dative case. This isn't anything to do with walking down the street, unless you really have the urge to get on a ship or something. But ég ætla að fara til Íslands means I intend to go to Iceland, or I'm going to Iceland. Where til takes the genitive case, and Íslands is there from the genitive case. I also advise carrying a piece of paper around with you. Verbs and prepositions like the ones I used and like many others, that take different cases and also explanations of each case if you're not at all used to cases. Remember generally that nominative is the subject, accusative is the object, dative is the indirect object, and genitive is the possessor. They can also be used with prepositions like tis. Okay, verb exceptions. There are about 4 to 5 verb types mainly, depending on which book you look at. Present tense dictates really which verb type you got. So, for example, the verb to listen. Je hlusta, þú hlustar, hann hlustar, hlustum, hlustið, hlusta. As opposed to meet, hitta, which is hitti, hittir, hittir, hittum, hittith, and hitta. You see those two are in different groups. Those are very easy verbs, very easy verbs to use, even in the past tense, coincidentally. But there are some exceptions, as with English. Fortunately, a few of these sound a lot like English. Asial, which is to see. In the singulars, it's sie, sieir, sieir, which means which basically sounds a lot like see, sees, see, or whatever. Most other exceptional verbs are very common, and you don't actually find verbs like to be in English, which is I am, you are, he is. Just I am or is completely separate words. You don't get that. You do get at eia, which means to have, possess, or to be supposed to, which is au, aust, au, and then regularly eun, eid, eia. It's a simple past that brings the difficulty with verbs really. Weak verbs are fairly easy. These are like eitla and hlusta, which form the simple past with a fricative, d, t, ed. Then I, ir, and I in the singular, and in the plural, ud, and u. So it's very simple. For example, if I was to talk about hlusta, which to listen, it would be hlustadi, hlustadir, hlustadi, hlustadum, hlustaduð, and hlustadu. So it's very simple. There are occasionally vowel changes even in these weak verbs, but they're generally they're only in like one of the 5 groups, so it's not that hard to remember. The characterizing thing about strong verbs is that they actually take a vowel change in the simple past, in other past forms. You might say in English, I see, I saw, I eat, I ate. If you're learning English as a foreign language, or if you've learnt one, or if you've learnt it, you can just or you can just imagine trying to learn. I eat breakfast in the morning. Yesterday I ate waffles. Then you'd imagine it's very difficult. It's as difficult in Icelandic, unfortunately. These vowel changes have been charted, and I can actually imagine you probably can chart them in English. But these charts are very confusing, massive charts that I would have no hope of remembering. I wouldn't recommend remembering them. I would just recommend learning each verb on a case-by-case basis. For learning them initially, I would advise allverbs.com. It has many languages, so you may have encountered it before. Basically, it gives all the tenses that you could want for verbs, except the middle voice, which is just something you can form easily. It doesn't give definitions, unfortunately, so go to Wisconsin's online dictionary for that one. And it also does tries to guess a conjugation of verbs that it doesn't have, which it sounds a bit stupid, but it does. It will warn you in red at the top of the page if so. Scroll down. Okay.